Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Comic Room Pod. I am your host, Spro, and with me is my co-host and father-in-law, Mr. Longbox. It's been so long, I forgot my intro. This is episode 72.
Yes, the long-awaited issue 72.
I totally messed up that intro, but it's okay. Just getting back into the
That's right. We're getting back. We're getting back in the ring.
Yeah, sorry. We missed you guys for sure. It's just busy.
It's a busy season.
Busy month. Yeah. So
sorry.
Yeah, but we are well. I know there was some. You guys were checking in on us. Yeah. We're all good. We're well. So
yeah.
I appreciate you guys checking in. We missed a lot in February. Announcements and trailers, and so we won't catch up on all that. But yeah, we'll probably just talk and catch up because we haven't even really got to talk.
It's been so busy that we even haven't sat down to chat much. Yeah. So busy, and I think one of us, like one weekend we weren't feeling well. I can't remember. It was something like that, but it was just a couple. It just happened consecutively.
Yeah, so. I think the first week that we missed, it was because I was changing my entire office.
All right.
Yeah. And I was just like, no, I can't. Like I'm in a groove. I need to stay on top of it, especially because I got this claim sale coming up. And so we skipped that week. And I think the next week was Dara's 30th, my wife's 30th birthday.
Oh, right. That's right. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We had a big old party at our place. So that was fun.
And the week after that, I was in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And then last week, I think you just had a lot of
I just couldn't. I was completely bombed.
So
anyway, we're back.
We are.
Issue 72. And when I think of 72, I think of Fantastic Four 72, the classic Kirby Watcher Silver Surfer cover. That's been in my top 5 covers since the beginning.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. Thanks guys so much for clicking on this. Thanks for coming back. You can check us out on Instagram. I'm at Spurs_comics. He is at Mr. Period Longbox. Something new that has evolved since the last time we were on here is I'm going to be doing claim sales. I'm not going to say every Monday, but every claim sale is going to be on a Monday. So like I'm doing one when you guys are watching or listening to this, I'll be doing one tonight on IG. But the week after, I'm probably not going to do one because it's the weekend of my birthday. And I don't think I'm going to want to spend the weekend prepping books for a claim sale. So I'll be skipping that. But yeah, probably like 2 to 3 claim sales a month, and they'll all be on Mondays. So, but if you guys are watching this, there will definitely be a claim sale. And then on Thursday, in a few days, I'm going to be hosting my buddy Katsu Comics for a claim sale of his. He got a new collection, and so the reason why I was in Texas, if you guys are part of the show, he got a collection of like 400 Mark Jewelers. So we were selling them all. Yeah. And it was crazy. And he bought another collection like a few days after that. And it ended up being like 60 or 70 more Mark Jewelers.
So and he's in Texas. So I guess maybe there's something to that. Like I don't mean like just go to Texas and buy comics, but there's a lot of military bases in Texas.
Yeah.
And maybe just map out where military bases are and see if there's any collections being
storage
sold.
Units near.
I mean, right?
That's where he's got these collections, is people buying storage units. Excuse me, buying storage units and then selling them.
Wow.
So yeah, he's gotten a good deal. I mean, he didn't even know it was all Mark Jewelry. It was just like bronze run filler, and he was like, "Oh, this would be like good whatnot stuff, like $2-3 starts, some cool." Tales of the Teen Titans or a bunch of like X-Men.
Yeah, and they were all that first collection. They were all kind of 4, 5, 5. They were in that a few higher, but most of them were kind of mid.
Yeah,
but they're all Mark Jewelers. Like that was nuts.
Yeah,
some keys too, but not like mega keys. But there were a few like special books in there.
So on this next one, it's got a first Cable in the Mutants 87.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, and then the Eric Larson Venom ASN 346, I think, is the cover. So yeah, that'll be on Thursday. So that'll be another fun one.
That's fun.
And then last week I did mostly a sale, and this will be part of my show and tell, so we can transition right after.
Yeah.
But I got a collection a few weeks ago now, right before I left for Texas. That was really cool. I'll tell the story after show and tell. But yeah, it was really cool. So I sold most of the books last week, but I still have a long box and a short box left. But like the short box of books that I have left are books that I prepped for last week's sale that I didn't get to show. So those are all ready to go for Monday.
That was a really cool collection.
Yeah. So
I'll let you tell that after show.
Yeah, I'll tell the story of that collection. But am I missing anything?
No.
Straight to show and tell? Yeah, here we go.
Let's go.
All right. So this this book is from this collection that I bought recently, and this is a first for my collection. So I actually had this for sale. It didn't sell. I liked it when I prepped it. I was thinking, maybe I want to keep this. I was like, I'll sell it, and if it doesn't sell, I'll keep it. So I decided to keep it, and this is Pep Comics from the Archie series, 185. Never owned an Archie book before, none, and I just really, I think this cover is
that's so great.
It's funny. It's great.
Is that 12 cent?
Yeah.
So what's the year on that one? Do you know offhand? So they got 60s.
Yeah.
That's great.
But it's Archie, Betty, and Veronica on a boat. And on the top panel, Archie is trying to like start the engine. And the blonde one, whose name is...
Betty.
Betty, she says, Archie, how long is it going to take you to start it? And then on the bottom rectangle down here, the boat is sinking. And then Betty says, I think we were better off before he got it started. And what I love about this cover is the look on Archie's face is just like this smiling, like, yep, this is fine, as they're just sinking into the ocean. So
that's a really sharp copy too.
Yeah,
it's really nice.
It's a cool book. But yeah, Archie's face on that book, it had me laughing a good amount when I...
Man, yeah, I should have bought this book, man. It's a really nice book.
Yeah,
it's like what's cool about it is it's like you're looking at like inside the book because it looks like it's giving you two. I mean, it is giving you two panels on the cover. I've never really ever seen that.
Yeah,
that's sharp. Pep issue 185, and Pep is the series from which you get Archie's first appearance.
I think so, yeah.
And I don't know what number it is. He's not on the cover, so that's why I can't picture it. But it's from Pep Comics, so this is the OG title for that. That's a sweet book.
Yeah. So, yeah.
So we all had our chance, and we all blew it, and now it's here in the show and tell.
It is, yeah.
So that's cool. Love it.
First for me. Never been an Archie guy.
I know, and I know we'll get into this collection a little bit later. We'll talk about it, but I was excited to see these types of books in your hands, because they do grow on you for sure.
Yeah, they do.
All right, so my show and tell is not even new, not a new book even to this room. It's been in this room before. It's been in this room for a long time. And if you've been watching this podcast, you've seen it behind Joshua for months.
Yeah.
So you already know what it is.
Yep.
But this is a new acquisition for me, but not a new acquisition for me, if that makes any sense. And you will when I show you. And it is Fantastic Four issue number 7, as you recognize this book that was in your collection, in a 5.5 white pager.
Gorgeous.
The reason this is a new acquisition for me, new/not new, is and Jabs, if you're watching, you already know because you bought my Fantastic Four 7 about, I guess, a month ago or 3 weeks ago, something like that. Yeah, and that was, I had completed my 1 to 12 run, but man, did I love the one you had on the wall.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is, as you guys saw when I showed you, it's just a gorgeous copy. It's 5.5 white pages, but it's also a white cover. It's hard. This book is really hard to get with this looking as clean and white as it is. And anyway, it's just a stunning copy. And so this represents a kind of a new, I guess, avenue of comic book buying for me or collecting for me, which is the upgrade. I already have the book, and I got the book because it was in the condition that I could afford at the time, and I loved the book, and I'm glad it went to a good home. But once you have the book, now you kind of have stock in that book, and it goes, if it goes up, you still have it. And then, the gap might increase between the next highest grades or whatever, but it's always now a possibility to upgrade, no matter what the book is. I have FF1, maybe I can upgrade that someday. Like, it's possible. And it's kind of fun. It's just fun to realize, I can do that. Like why would I buy FF7? I already have it.
Yeah.
Well, but I don't have it in that condition, and I could get it, and it wouldn't really cost that much more if I sold the other one.
Right.
So I had tried for a few different claim sales, I think, to sell it, and then one day you were having a claim sale, and I couldn't be there because I was working late that night, and I think you texted me, and I know because I was driving in the car, and you said got an offer for this much from, I don't know if it was a claim seller or he just emailed you, but whatever it was, you said, it's this much and it's from Jabs. And I'm like, all right, for Jabs, do it.
Yeah.
Because it is like my baby, I want it to go to a cool home. And so I know that it's in a great collection, but I'm really stoked to get the upgrade for me on this side of things. So now I'm thinking, are there any other books? I did that also with Daredevil 168.
Right.
Sold it and then bought one later from you. Which it's great being the father-in-law of a comic book seller because your books, books are constantly cycling through your inventory.
Yeah.
And so I get to cherry pick sometimes the things that I'm looking for. You give me first dibs sometimes.
Yeah.
But sometimes I'm like, yeah, you should. I really like that book, but you really need to offer that to your to your faithful.
Yeah.
And then if they don't want it, I'll put an offer in, which I did last week actually. Some of your books.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You waited to say you picked up some nice ones.
Oh, I really did. I'm so stoked on those.
Those Christmas ones are cool.
And I guess it's a good segue to start talking about that collection if you want to talk about it first. But but go ahead.
There's another white page FF book on this wall that I'm thinking about moving on from. That's on this side.
No. 6?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, because that's in a 6.0, right?
White pages. Yeah.
And I think mine's a 5.5. But what I do know though is the gap between the price of a 5.5 and a 6 is significant.
Yeah,
this will not be a minor expense to upgrade. It's almost double, isn't it?
Yeah. Maybe not. Almost maybe.
A lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Hundreds.
Yeah.
But man, the thought process that landed this book in my collection is the same one I apply to FF6. and the process is simple. It's, can I stand to let that book walk out of this family?
Yeah.
That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Because, I thought about you putting this book up for sale on your claim sale and me being there in the room while somebody buys it and I'm inputting their name and their email or whatever it is I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I would just be sick in my heart. And that would be true about 6 also.
Yeah.
But
this one also may be moving soon.
It's dangerous for me to come here.
I know my wall.
I go broke.
Oh, that's funny.
But
6 is something I'm not sure I'm ready yet, but 6 is something that I've definitely been thinking about.
That's a book, man.
It's a book.
It's obviously second Silver Age appearance of Submariner and second appearance of Doom, but first Marvel first team up of villains in Marvel.
Yeah. Underrated, I still think.
Right. And so it's a top 10 FF in a really crispy 6.0 white pager. Wow. Yeah. Man.
So
I paid a lot for my 5.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I paid a lot for it. So I would probably have to take a loss on it just to get the cash out. You know what I mean? Like sometimes it's just the way the market's moving right now. What I paid and what it is now, it's just less. The book is not worth any less to me, but
I mean, I think I'd be taking a wash on that one too.
Yeah, see, so
yeah. We're both taking washes.
Well, I mean, I'm kind of used to it right now because the stock market's been a kind of a turd for this past week.
What book was it? Oh man, it was. Jed had it on his on his Whatnot sale a couple days ago. I don't remember what book it was, but I was like, man, I remember spending, like, I think $100 for that book. And I don't think he could even get somebody to bid on it for $3. And I was like, I should have just bought it just to
erase
my average cost.
Dollar cost average it out. Yeah. It's hard, right?
I don't remember what book it was.
Well, maybe he still has it. If you couldn't get anybody to pay $3, offer him $250.
Yeah. But yeah, it is funny how that I mean, I think of that sometimes with my Young Avengers 1. I paid $500 for one of my copies.
I don't know what to tell you, man.
Now I can't sell it for $160. Like, that's crazy.
But it can just as easily. And then meanwhile, Absolute Batman is going for $300. So go figure.
What's nice though is I bought that Young Avengers 1 for $500, CGC 9.8. It was already 50% off of its highest sale at that point. So that book was going for $1,000 at some point. It had come down $500. It's really hard to believe that a book is going to come down,
right,
90%, like 80% or whatever.
How do you? It's very hard to avoid it, especially if you're in this, even remotely in the speculation game. Like, I understand that first Miles Morales is off its highs. I know, first Gwen is off its highs and things like that, but those aren't going to do what Young Avengers did.
Yeah.
Because they're not spec, not really. These characters are established. They're popular. There's going to be a floor, under which people say there's no way I cannot buy that book at that price. Like there's absolutely an established bottom for these books. That's not that's significant. But Young Avengers, it's all hype. I mean, it's not hype. It's all potential that hasn't yet been realized. But all it takes is one of there's 4 first appearances in that one.
Yeah.
And these aren't minor characters. They just haven't really hit yet.
Yeah.
But as spec goes, it's really good because you got 4 or 5 first appearances all in one book. You're the one who told me, you're like, this is kind of a modern Giant Size 1.
Yeah.
Giant Size X-Men 1. I think that's probably accurate, but it's just right now this is where it is.
Yeah.
But it only takes one of those 4 or 5 to hit.
Right. Totally.
And if they all, hold on to it. I sold mine.
I still.
I wish I still had it.
I think I saw it too. I think I have 2
here we
9.8s.
go. This is what I'm talking about right here.
And I have 3. I mean, you already have this book. I have 3 First Silks 9.8, but one of them is a second print, which is rarer.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, Silk's another one. Yeah, I've still got several of those, so I'm just gonna, I'm a believer in Silk for lots of reasons. I just think that character is cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it'll be an interesting year. Absolute is just going crazy. Invincible is just going nuts as well.
Pretty much any independent #1 right now.
How fitting was the name Dork?
I thought about that book too because I like fantasy.
Yeah.
But it's just a question of, like, you guys know, I'm trying not to keep stuffing my short boxes with stuff, so I didn't pick it up, right? And then last week, What's Wrong with Ted, or Something Wrong with Ted, or whatever that book is. I remember looking at it at our LCS, and it was sitting on the table. It hadn't even been put in the rack yet, and there were only 2 copies that the store had ordered. And I thought, well, I probably ought to just get one because it's like $4.99, and for whatever reason, independents are popping off without really any rationale.
The White Sky one as well.
Yeah, another one. But then I opened it up and I looked at it, and I just wasn't impressed at all. I didn't think it looked very good inside. I wasn't really all that impressed with. I read a few pages. I'm like, I don't know. But then sure enough, it's on the hot list this week, but I'm not regretting it because I can't be doing it. I can't, all the different things, but it is fun to speculate on a new book and have it sell. I mean, have it hit and then turn it around real fast.
Yeah. I've had a lot of people ask me for I think it's probably pronounced Diork.
Yeah, I have no idea.
But it's funny, Dork, because
people
are like, if you paid $100 for that book, you're a dork.
I mean, it would be scary to to do it.
Oh yeah.
But I thought it was a little scary to pay $60 for Absolute Batman 1, just a matter of months after it came out. But obviously that was turned out not to be a scary decision.
Flipped it on me. There you go.
I did flip that book. That was part of what paid for the upgrade. Actually,
Yeah.
The money for that.
That book, man, what's crazy is I sold it to you and we looked at eBay last sold together and it was like 60, 75.
Yeah.
I think what it was we were seeing $75 sales and then I just told you I would do it to you for 60.
Yeah.
And then we made a deal. And then it was maybe legit like 2 weeks later where just 150.
150. And then once it got there, it had rocket fuel. Like the hype, it was even more.
Yeah, I'm in some Facebook groups, and it's funny. Like those guys are pretty cynical, and I think the cynicism in collecting just comes from people like not being in on something, like having the stock. Because because
they get mad. Yeah,
if you don't have it, you're gonna be cynical about it.
Yeah,
because
I'm not buying it. I'm sticking to it. I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, exactly. So when Absolute, it's not as Absolute is still on fire, but it's not as on fire as it was like a month ago.
No.
So when it was on fire, and when you were seeing in those groups people selling like full runs up until that point for like hundreds and hundreds of dollars, like pushing 1,000. It was just interesting seeing people like that didn't have it on their pull list in the way that they were knocking it.
They were sour.
Yeah, but then there was one person, and this is a very interesting take as far as like the longevity of Absolute Batman is concerned, where he said, yeah, like these raw like filler books, they're probably not like this book right here, First Catwoman. This is probably not in the long run like a $25, $30 book.
Right.
And Absolute Batman 1, he's like, if you were to invest into Absolute Batman, he was like, I would just get a 9.8. Like if you can get it under FMV, that's probably where the long-term like money hold investment is having it in a 9.8, not having like the filler, because all that stuff will come crashing down.
Right.
Because people are going to be like, oh, well, this is just story. But I think, and I've said this before, like in terms of like when people say collect what you love, don't collect hype, blah, 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 like when a book becomes hype, it immediately cements itself into the market and becomes recognizable no matter what. So then at some sort of floor is introduced, and it varies depending on the book. But with Absolute Batman and how crazy it is, that book is always going to have a pretty strong floor.
Yeah.
So a 9.8, I agree with that guy. I think that is probably like a long-term play.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right.
Signed, sketched, all that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Because like you said before, you get these books that flash so brightly that they imprint themselves in the collective memory of the hobby, and they will. And this is, I'm just paraphrasing what you have said.
Yeah.
And they become, they have that aura, whatever, attached to them forever.
Yeah.
And they always have people look at it and go, oh yeah, I've always wanted that book. I remember, and then you're right. That book's not, I don't know what the floor is going to be, but the floor is not going to be under $100.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that. It's just not like
no.
that.
Yeah. For number one, no, definitely not.
No.
Yeah.
No. So we can all kick ourselves for not thinking about it when it came out or whatever, but there's no sense to be bitter because it's good for the hobby. I don't think it's bad for the hobby for a book to get hot. It's bad for the hobby if a book gets hot and then crashes 6 months later, and then everybody's upset about it.
Yeah.
But that's not going to be the case with Absolute Batman.
Yeah. So I'm also like in an Invincible only group. And obviously everybody in there is going to be like pretty high on Invincible because we all have stake one way or another.
Yeah.
But in the other group, that's just more general. And the people that hate on Invincible, it's funny because like I think you can criticize Absolute, you can criticize Diorc and White Sky and like all these books. When it comes to Invincible, there's actual like too many indicators of why these books are good long-term holds. maybe if you're buying at like absolute peak, you're running a little bit more of a risk, but the print run is there as far as like,
right.
These books were like, I think in the peak of the run, which was like around issue 60, 70, maybe they were pushing 20K print runs, maybe, but it started off low, it went up, and then they were gonna can it in the beginning, which is crazy. Can you imagine if they canned it? Oh my gosh. The butterfly effect of saving that book.
Yeah.
So they were going to can it. Robert Kirkman saved it. They kept it going. And I think they were going to can it again, but then it got saved again. And that's why when you get towards like in the hundreds, you get low print runs in the hundreds where it's like back to like 12,000.
Yeah. Wow.
Is because it just wasn't very successful. And so the print runs are there. You know, that's a big thing. We talk about census count, print runs, or ordered by retailers, all those numbers. And then just how big of an impact the TV show is having on
my gosh,
pop culture.
Yeah. The characters are cemented into the culture now.
Yeah.
It's a phenomenon.
Right. It's something from Image Comics. Maybe like Walking Dead is like the only other equivalent, but I think Invincible at this point is bigger. I mean, you go to a convention or you go to like an anime con or whatever it is, and people are cosplaying, and it's huge. And
definitely in the comic world, it's bigger. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, it's massive. Yeah, and it's on a pop culture perspective, it's here to stay.
Yeah.
Like once there will be a live action, even if we don't want a live action, it's gonna make too much money to not do a live action.
And then when that happens, when that gets announced, whatever that is, I mean, the run's gonna double. I mean, the values are gonna go crazy.
Yeah, I saw somebody in the Invincible group had 25 Invincible books, like Run Phil. I don't think there were any keys, and they wanted $1,000 for the 25. Somebody said I sent you somebody commented on the post and said DM sent. I'm like, dang, that's crazy. I'm
just happy to hear that you're on Facebook.
That's the only reason I'm on there. Yeah.
So there is a place for the generation, a few generations behind me to be on still be on Facebook. Then it's not just me and all the other 50 somethings.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm happy because I was buying my Invincible run when people were excited about it, but my investment, I'm already seeing what is it like. My Invincible collection is definitely worth more than what I paid for it.
Oh yeah.
Which is crazy because I was buying it during hype.
I don't think I have any Invincible in my collection.
Yeah, we got to get you something.
I don't think I have any. Not one.
We got to get you something cool.
Only one issue one. That's it. It's like Absolute Batman one. That's what I'm going to get. I want the first issue and the last issue. 9/8. Call it a day.
9/8 going for almost 6K now, maybe 6K.
Oh no, I can't do that. I'll take a 9.4. I love 9.4.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about 9.4. It's just a nice round number, solid.
9.4 is going for, I think there's a couple on IG right now. They are like 25, 26.
Man, that's what 9.8 was going for not too long ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
Earlier this year, I think even.
Yeah.
So I like my 9.6. I think this is about 35, but I'm not letting.
Beautiful book, man.
Yeah. Gorgeous.
So anyway, it was it's just a hard right turn. Talk about your collection that you picked up.
So a few weeks ago, I got an email from somebody saying that they had some comics and that they were wondering if I would be interested and if they could bring them to my spot sometime. And I said, yeah, for sure. Send some pictures just so I can get an idea. What am I getting into?
Yeah.
Type thing. Sent me some pictures. Wasn't anything too crazy. It was like some Hulk and some Cap. Like Run Phil. But late silver, early bronze. So it's like, cool stuff for sure. Yeah. So I was like, yeah, bring it on by. Then it ended up being like crazy stormy that day. So they were like, hey, can you just swing by? And I was like, yeah, sure. So I drove to them and I walk in and it's a nice family. And they lead me to the kitchen, and beautiful home, across the table just had stacks of books. And I'll throw a picture up right here of the one picture I was able to take. And then I'm looking at way more than what, like even better books than what the picture. I mean, obviously the first thing that I notice is 2 Batman 251s.
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 Wow. In one collection. That's amazing.
Yeah. And I was like, dang.
Somebody knew what they were doing.
Yeah. And I was like, dang. And I was like, okay. And it was a husband and a wife, and their son was about high school age. They were all kind of there. And it was the wife who had reached out, and the husband was familiar with comics. He had collected growing up, and he seemed to know his way around what was on the table. And I was like, "Hey, can I check these out? The 251s?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, of course." He's like, "Those are so cool, man." He's like, "Those are iconic." And I was like, "It's crazy." I was like, 2 of them,
right?
And I was just like, "What's the story on this?" And basically the wife had said that her mom had passed, and this was her collection. And
nice. The woman's eye.
Yeah. And it's to no surprise that we are in a male dominated hobby.
Yeah.
Most of my customers, if not all of my customers, are male. Yeah. And so every time I buy a collection, it's from a dude. And so it was really, really cool. Just her telling me about her mom, that these were her books that she read. And I'm just like flipping through these books. And so, I get past the Batman 251, and then I see there's like a pile of Green Lantern, and it's Neil Adams, Denny O'Neil run. And then there's horror, like House of Secrets, House of
Vault of Horror,
Mystery. Yeah. And so I hadn't even seen those yet, but I'm seeing like just the bronze DC horror. And I was like, wow, your mom had exquisite taste.
Yeah.
And I'm flipping through, and then I like just sitting like in the mid, they kind of like had these towers of comics that were kind of like categorized a little bit. As I'm flipping through like one of the horror stacks, I see pre-code horror. And I'm like, I was like, wow, this is
iconic cover pre-code horror too.
Yeah. I was like, this is amazing. I was like, wow, your mom, she got an amazing,
she had a great eye.
Yeah. She has some amazing books. And so then she started to tell me about how she remembered the Archie books. She was like, yeah, I remember reading like some of those in the closet as a kid, and some of those. And so did some negotiating. It can be tough sometimes. Like, when you have somebody that passes and this stuff belongs to them, it can be tough for them to move on. And so, yeah, it's a tough balance in the moment for me to balance their emotions, my emotions for them.
Yeah.
And then the reality of my business. And so it's a lot of like, it's tough. Like, it's not, I'm sympathetic in the moment. I'm not like in the moment. I'm not sitting there looking at like, 2 Batman 251s, pre-code horror. Like, I need to get this for as cheap as possible. And I'm not thinking that way at all.
Right.
Like, I'm understanding, and I'm leveling with her that she lost her mother.
Yeah.
And that these belong to her, and that she has nostalgic memory of reading them in her closet. And so
this is a piece of her mom. This is a part of her memories with her mom. It's not going to be an easy thing to say goodbye to.
Yeah. And so negotiating, back and forth and trying to be as sensitive as I am towards her, or rather sympathetic. I can't let that affect the business decision that I have to make. Although it does end up playing a little bit of part, like where, maybe paying a little bit more because you understand that like this person is caught in a situation where they have no need to keep it, but they want to, but they don't want to at the same time. So it's kind of like meeting them where they are.
And you just can't be the guy that's pushing the sale.
Yeah.
Like they may, and clearly they do. They wouldn't have put it up there on, they wouldn't have advertised it, but they maybe they even want to sell it, but they know they probably should sell it. But maybe there's another family member in the room that's like, doesn't quite have the same attachment that can be the voice that you can't be, because you have to go to that situation fully understanding that they might at the very last moment, when it comes right down to letting them go, just not be able to do it.
Yeah.
Just go, you know what? I'm sorry, I can't.
Yeah.
I'm sure people watching, that's happened to many, many times. And it's not even about the money. It's just, I just can't do it.
Yeah. No, thankfully, the husband does not have the nostalgia and emotional connection to it. So he was kind of like the mediator, so to say.
Yeah.
And just being objective. And I think if he had told me, he was like, yeah, your fare is offer, or your fare is
your offer's fair.
Your offer is fair.
Why isn't it working?
Yeah, I was like, why doesn't that sound right? He was like, your offer is fair. And I had countered what they had asked. Not by much though. And he had told me that it was a fair offer. I think that's what I was trying to say. It was a fair offer.
Yeah.
I just started.
The word you had in your head was fair.
Yeah. So he was definitely like, yeah, we got to get these moved on.
Yeah.
And I think if he didn't have that mindset, I think I quickly would have realized, like, I think I just probably should leave.
Yeah.
These aren't going anywhere.
Not
just
today.
been like, hey, yeah, feel free to call me later.
Yeah.
You're not ready right now, and that's totally fine.
Yeah.
I get it. But yeah, because then if it's like, not that it was like a 2-on-1, but if it was me negotiating against two people who are like very nostalgic over I'm not paying what I need to pay.
Yeah.
For my margins on it.
That must happen for other things too. Like somebody's dad passes, and the dad had like a fancy car that he kept, like some classic muscle car or something like that. And the kids have memories of them working on the car all weekend long, and taking drives in it and polishing it, and how much pride he had in the car. It's not just a car you're selling. You're selling, and you almost might, unless you've had the conversation with your deceased mom, dad, whatever, you might even feel like you're betraying them and selling it.
Yeah.
But which you're not. But it can feel that way.
Totally.
As you're like, we should keep it. But what are you going to do? You're going to carry these comics. You're not even a comic book collector. What are you going to do? Like, maybe I would say, well, pick one. Like, pick one that most makes you think of your mom, the one that you have the most memories of your mom with, and we'll keep that one.
Yeah.
Whatever the value is, and then we'll sell the rest. But you still have the connection in this book right here.
Yeah.
And then go ahead and get slapped. No, actually, don't get it slapped. Yeah. You actually want to be able to feel it.
Yeah. Yeah, and he wasn't. He told me he had sold his collection like 6-7 years ago. So I think he would. The husband definitely was not interested.
Well, if that's the case, he did really well. He probably sold it in 2020. He's the smartest one of us all.
Yeah, he told me he had some nice books. I mean, he's between us and age, so he's the McFarlane era.
Yeah,
like the kid during that time, and
so he picked up all that stuff.
Yeah, first Deadpool, like he was telling me about all that stuff, and I was like, wow. I was like, you should have held them. I was like, I'd have bought them right now. and he's like, and you probably would have bought it for more. He's like,
maybe
because I bought them, because I think he said he bought them pre-2020, so he might not have caught the bump. So, but yeah, it was a sweet collection, and it was cool. What's fun about those it's not the first time I've bought a collection from somebody who had passed. It's the first time I had bought a collection directly from somebody who was directly related to somebody who passed, but not the first time. Because sometimes like the last time it happened, it had just the collection had made its way to a couple people. By the time it got to me, obviously this time there was no buffer or anything. But what's fun about it is I get to learn about like, and I don't believe in ghosts, but like you get to learn of like the ghost of this person.
Yeah.
In a way, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, absolutely, it does. Yeah, you get a sense of certainly what they valued as far as beauty or art.
Yeah.
And just she clearly had an affinity for the horror stuff.
And Neil Adams, man.
Neil Adams, yeah.
She just like all Batman Neil Adams, like only buying Superboy Neil Adams covers, only buying the Superman in Action Comics Neil Adams covers, only buying not only buying the horror, but buying a lot of Neil Adams horror covers. Like she was a fan of Neil Adams and ahead of her time.
Yeah.
To curate like a Neil Adams collection like that.
Yeah. That's
is
smart.
Impressive. So sold probably about half, maybe a little, maybe like a third, maybe a little bit more than a third. I don't know.
I picked up a couple Richie Riches.
Yeah.
Early Richie Riches too.
The mic closer to you.
Yeah, early Richie Riches, like I think in the 30s, 39 and 42 or something like that. Which I like it because one of the first books I ever bought was a Richie Rich issue 200.
Oh, cool!
In the early 80s, and that's when the anniversary issues were special. We don't really care about it anymore, but unless it's ASM 300, then everyone goes crazy for it. But and I always thought it would be cool to have issue 1 of this one, which is something that I would love to acquire, but it's very expensive.
Yeah,
that book. But a couple of Richie Riches, a little dot, I think. And one of the Richie Riches was a Christmas one, and then I bought a Chipmunks which had a Christmas cover on it.
Yeah.
And I like the Christmas covers because I discovered, my wife loves to decorate for Christmas. She goes crazy.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful. Our home is like, it's really just filled with Christmas,
festive,
very festive. But she leaves my office alone. But I wanted to join in and have some Christmas decor. But my Christmas decor was all comic book related. So I had like a candy cane Funko Pop Catwoman.
Yeah.
She's in a candy cane outfit or something like that. But then I also put Christmas cover comic books all over my office.
Yeah.
So it's fun to get some from the 60s Dell because they're just so wholesome.
Yeah.
They have that look to them, like Hanna-Barbera Christmas stuff.
Yeah.
Can't really beat it. So I have that stuff now.
Yeah.
So then I bought it. I have a separate spot in a certain short box that's just where I put the Christmas stuff, so I know where to get it next year. I just take it all out. So I added 3 really nice Christmas themed comics from that collection.
Yeah, you had the Alvin and the Chipmunks one, the Richie Rich one, and the little dot one.
The little dot one, which wasn't technically Christmas, but it was an ice.
She was ice skating.
She's ice skating, and it's clearly
winter
thematic. Yeah, so yeah, I loved those. Those were great. They were, and solid condition too, like 5.5, 6.0, something pretty good for 1960s Richie Rich, right? Like those I go a long time before I get a chance to buy another one of those. You just don't see them.
Yeah, I'm notorious on this podcast for hating Dell, especially for hating Gold Key.
Yes,
and she had a handful of Gold Key and Dell, and I came to appreciate a lot of it.
There's some cool stuff.
Yeah, like I really did like those Richie Rich covers. They were cool.
Yeah.
If you weren't gonna buy the one where he's like looking at the security cameras or like all the TVs, that probably would have been the show and tell.
I know, and I would have felt the same way about that as I feel about this one. It was like, oh, I should have bought it, but it's because it's cool because it's a Richie Rich looking at, and it had to be pretty early in when TV was really kind of becoming adopted into homes. But he's looking at like a surveillance wall of many screens, and in each one screen there's a character, Casper or what's the
little devil or something like that.
What's his name?
I'm forgetting.
Yeah. Anyway, him and a handful of other characters, and so it's just a neat cover. Man, I'm so stuffed up. I'm hearing myself.
Yeah,
that must sound really bad. It's not the cats. It's allergies, but not your cats because they don't get me. But man, whoo, I cannot breathe through my nose at all. Right now.
Dang!
It's
so when you're talking, you're like running out of breath.
I'm running out of breath. Get another breath. Yeah, it's really hard to eat when you're this stuffed up because you can't.
Yeah,
like you have to hold your breath until you swallow, unless you choke. It's brutal.
So yeah, that's kind of a little that was fun. It's probably the most exciting thing that's happened.
Yeah.
Well, actually, that's not true. On Spro's Comics, that's definitely the most exciting purchase that Spro's Comics has had in the last few weeks. And then I had an exciting sell for a book that was once on this wall that is here no longer. That has been replaced. I didn't even realize I replaced FF7 with this Doom cover. Yeah. And then I replaced what used to be up here with Avengers 25, an iconic Doom cover. And if you're wondering what used to be up there, it was ASM 129. And I did sell it. You guys remember I had a 7.0 white page copy. And I had somebody reach out. They've kind of, they don't really pop up into claim sales too often. But they'll buy from me. They'd just be like, hey, like, here's my list. Yeah. Let me know. So they hit me up and they're like, hey, I'm looking for an ASM 129, looking for a raw copy. Because they only collect raw. Let me know if you come across one. And I was like, yeah, for sure. And I started thinking, and a couple things, a couple things crossed my mind. One, finding that book raw is tough.
Yeah.
Two, I've been saying this for about a year now, and you've echoed it. You can find better deals on slabs right now. Like, there's a couple books that I have in my inventory that are slab that I'm going to be cracking because I can get more for it raw.
That's so wild.
Save on shipping as well. Like, right. And it'll sell faster because it's raw. So that crossed my mind, and because I told him I did have a copy, but I told him it was great, and they were like, "Oh, I'm looking for raw." So then, like 20, 30 minutes after they had originally DM'd me and we had finished the conversation, I reached out to him and I was like, "Hey, so actually, I think you might have a pretty tough time finding a good deal on a raw book." I was like, "What condition are you looking for?" And they were like, "Yeah, probably like in this range." And my graded copy was exactly in that range. And I was like, okay, look, this book, here's why you're going to have a problem with it. I was like, and it's complicated. I was like, and I'm not trying to make a sale on you. I'm just trying to explain the market of this book to you a little bit.
Yeah. And
you do with that information what you want. This book is tough to find raw because everybody gets it graded. Because it's a valuable book. It's a sought after book. When you have it graded, you're immediately connecting it to a market. There's a level of certainty that you get with its condition, and it's easy to value it. It's tough to grade raw because it's a yellow cover, and that yellow can like mask some of the defects on the cover. So when you have it graded, CGC with their scrutiny and grading, it's trustworthy. But when it's raw, here's like a problem that you run into. I find this book overpriced raw all the time for multiple reasons. I think a book like that can be tough to grade.
Yeah.
So I think it can be overgraded more often than it's undergraded. And of course, with a book like that, you might be tempted to want to overgrade it because
make a lot more.
Because the values between like a 6 and a 6.5 or a 6.5 and a 7 jump like a lot.
Yeah.
So there's temptation there. And I'm not saying that's something I do. I'm just saying that's just a reality of like when you're looking at the market and you're like, well, can I fudge this to be a 7? And if it comes back a 6.5, well, that's not on me. CGC's not, those are all realities that exist.
Sure.
In selling. So there's that. There's also so price might be a little inflated because of that. A seller might not be inclined to submit it to CGC because that book pretty much at any grade, actually I think 4.0 or higher, 3.5 or higher, is over the $1,000 limit.
Yeah, you're gonna pay a lot, right?
So then it becomes a percentage of the FMV. So then you're immediately looking at like $100 minimum to get this book graded. So whatever you paid to get the book, then you got to invest it into it. And you know, I've only had one raw copy come into from a collection, and I got it graded.
Yeah,
Because I think for a book like that, it's worth it.
yeah,
So, you know, that's a lot of investment. You have to invest time for it to get graded. You got to invest the money. It's not cheap to get it graded. So I just think that book, there's a lot of easy reasons for it to be overplayed in the market, and that's kind of like what I've deduced when I've seen that book raw. Like that's just kind of like how I've perceived it. So, anyways, I explained all that to him, and I told him, you know, no pressure, but you'll have an easier time finding a graded copy than a raw copy, and you might be able to get a better deal, like in the condition you want. I was like, you don't have to get mine.
yeah.
But if you wanted to like hold out, wait, do your due diligence and find, I was like, you'll probably find a better deal on a grade. And honestly, it's probably not a bad idea to have that book graded anyways. And then he was like, okay, well, what grade is yours? And I told him. He was like, how much do you want for it? And then I told him, and he shot me an offer. And I was like, yeah, we do that. And he was like, okay, cool. I'll come pick up and then we'll crack it.
Wow, man, wow.
So he showed up to the office.
That's an expensive crack. You know?
So he showed up to the office, paid for the book, and then he was like, all right, let's crack it. And I was like, are you sure? And he was like, yeah. And he's like, do you think I shouldn't? And I was like, I think you should do whatever you want to do with the book.
With your exactly right.
And I was like, and honestly, I was like, in everything that we talked about, like everything that I told you about, you have the buffer because you're going to keep the label. Like, so you will at least, there's like negotiating power in that. Like,
this is what CGC recognized it to be.
Yeah.
Last time.
So, yeah, exactly. So he was like, all right, let's crack it. So we cracked it, and he was happy, and I was happy for him. But I don't own the First Prince Punisher anymore.
Wow.
Kind of sad.
Yeah, that's a tough. Yeah. Well, welcome to the club. You're in the I sold ASM 129 club now with me.
I forgot you did.
So yeah, I sold my ASM 129. It was probably a 7.0. Now looking at it, it's probably in that area. You know, it wasn't perfect. It had a few spine ticks and stuff like that, but it was, you know, I always liked good clean copies, and so. But I sold mine in the mid 90s. Something I don't remember what I sold it for. I don't remember what I paid for it, but I mean, way less on both ends of it. Yeah, you know. But yeah, of course, I wish I still had it. You know? I mean, that's a great book. I and you do too. Like, of course you do. But you're a dealer now. Yeah, you know, it's hard. Like that. That's an interesting topic. Is it possible to be a dealer and a collector? Is it actually possible, or one has to prevail over the other? You know. Yeah. Maybe, I don't know. For me, I'm always, even when I sell, I'm still a collector. Because if I was on the dealer side, there's a lot of books I wouldn't keep that I have, you know. Yeah. But I can't let them go. I regret every single book I ever sold. I've told you guys that before. Doesn't mean that it wasn't the right decision. Even the ones I sold to get FF1, I regret that I had to sell them. Right. I wish I still had a First Moon Knight, you know. Yeah. And things like that. But I wish I still had that 9.2 Iron Man 3 that I bought. Or that I traded to some of the McFarlane's for. But that's just the way it goes, right? Yeah. Can't have, but I don't know. What do you think? Can you be both? You're trying.
I think the type of collector I am is changing. I think I just really love Invincible right now. So I'm still trying to collect the full run. Still buying it. If I see a raw copy for a number one, a good deal, I want to get one more copy of issue number 1. I would keep it raw, the second copy. But I think a lot of like the stuff that I have, like this one, Luke Cage Hero Fire #1. I really like that book. I have no connection to Luke Cage as a character. Like I didn't grow up reading Luke Cage. I like him in the Netflix stuff, and yeah, he's a cool character. And I mean, this cover is so sick.
Yeah.
So, but when I see the book and I see the value for it, like, I don't know, putting the money for this book into something bigger is, or just getting the liquid from it is it just is a little bit more appealing to me at the moment. But there's still some stuff. I mean, like this FF57 and Avengers 25. Like I really like those covers. They're Doom. This FF57 is like what started me on my Doom kind of hunt.
Yeah.
So I probably wouldn't really get rid of this one. Avengers 25, probably not because it's got Wanda on there too. But I think what I'm like really boiling my collection down to is Invincible, Wanda, Doom, and then like ASM Daredevil like keys.
And that.
Yeah.
I know you love that book.
I've thought about it, but honestly, that is a book, and slander me or, don't do that actually, but hate me for it. But I could never ask last sale for that book.
Right.
Whatever it is. Like, I think it's still in like the $1,000 to $1,100 range. I think, man, it would probably be like $1,800 is probably where I start to think about like,
right.
Okay, I'd get rid of it.
This is what it's going to cost to pry it out of my hands.
Yeah. And that's and that's purely like an emotional, like,
yeah, we all have them.
Yeah. So it's if I had to get rid of it for whatever reason, it would be tough, but it's not. When I look at, because I looked at GP, I was like, what's this book going for? I was like, it might be worth moving on from. And that was just this last week. And I checked and I was like, yeah, no, I would never get rid of it for what that book's going for right now.
No.
You're just gonna
there's certain books. My Daredevil 158 CBCS 158.90 or Daredevil 158 CBCS 90 authenticated old OG Frank Miller signature on the splash page that I bought at a convention. That book will never leave my collection. While I'm on this earth.
Yeah. Will it ever leave the slab?
I've thought about that, but for you guys, I don't know. Some of you saw the podcast that we did on that one. I've talked about it before, how I acquired that book. There was always a doubt in my mind that it was authentic, that the signature was real. There was always because the way I got it, the guy accidentally sold it to me,
right?
And it was too late for me to remedy it, but he was a jerk and deserved it anyway. But I was like 13 at the time. But anyway. So there was a great deal of relief when it came back verified.
Yeah.
So even though it came back verified, I still have that. You know what I mean? Like I'm still. I don't know if I want to go through that again. I guess I'm not sure if you're asking. The second half of the question would be would I resubmit it to CGC to have that one done? I'd probably not that, but. Just break it out and have it raw again.
Yeah.
And keep the label.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I would do that because, it's when you have a signature on the splash page, it stinks to get it slabbed.
Especially like it's a 9-0. Like it's not like.
Right. It's the verification that matters.
Right.
So yeah, it's possible that I will. I mean, but for now it's a really secure holding cell for it.
Yeah.
There's that. But like that Khazar issue #1 that I bought at an antique store for $5, and there was a signed Stan Lee, signed and dated Stan Lee signature on the splash page. I'm never gonna slab that. that thing would come in like a 7.0 probably at highest.
Yeah.
I think it's a 7.0, 7.5 maybe. But what would be the point?
Yeah.
I know it's a Stanley signature. It's with a ballpoint pen and it's 1981. It's a nice signature.
Yeah.
But I like to look at it.
Okay, so this just jogged my memory. You saying that you found that book for $5, Stanley signature. There's a guy who he's bought some books from me. He DM'd me maybe like a month or two ago, asked me for some advice. He was like, "Hey, how did you go from not doing this to doing this full time?" Asked me some questions and answered them to the best of my ability. And he sells his on Whatnot on the side. And so I hopped into his Whatnot show just the other day, like 2-3 days ago. This is the craziest story I've ever heard. Okay. He's like, "Oh, what's up, man? How you doing?" And, we're talking, or he's talking and I'm typing. And he's talking about some books that he got. Him and his girlfriend were on vacation. And he's like, "Yeah, when we go on vacation, I always try to like go to the antique shops,
sure,
comic shops." And then he asked me, he was like, "Yeah, how'd that Mark Jewelers sale go?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, it was great. Like my buddy, told him the story. He didn't know he found it." Then he's like, "I have a crazy find." And I'm not really knowing what to expect. I'm not thinking anything crazy.
Yeah.
He pulls out a Hulk 181. And I'm like, "Okay, that's pretty interesting." And he's like, "Yeah, I got this for $1." And I was like, "Stop." I was like, you're actually trolling me right now." And he was like, "Nah." I was like, "Okay."
Recently? Oh my gosh. Good for him, man.
And I was
that's
like,
the dream come true for all of us. That's why we dumpster dive.
And I was like, "Okay, how?" And he was like, "We were on vacation. I was at a game store." He was like, "It was, I think you like board games, video games, that type of stuff." But what he kept calling it was a game store. And he was like, and in the back corner of the shop was some boxes on top of a table and then some boxes under. And just going through, and his girlfriend had actually found it in the
Marry
boxes.
her
Yeah.
today.
And she was like, "Oh, hey, Wolverine's on this cover. Like, do you she doesn't know." And she's like, do you like this one? Because she's just, and he was
he must have thought it's got to be a reprint. Even so, it'd been cool.
That's what I was like, "Bro, you need to prove to me right now that that's not a reprint." Like, I was like, "I actually don't believe you right now."
It's so insane.
And he was like, "No, it's legit." He's like, "It's got the Marvel Value stamp." He's like, "It's got everything."
Oh my
blah blah blah. And then so then he brought it to the front and was just like, "How much for this one?" They were just like $1. And he was like, "All right."
He's brave. He's a lot braver than I would have been. I would have been in that situation. There's no way, you guys, it. There's no way I bring that one single comic up and ask that question.
I've brought up actual dollar bin books to a counter, and I've been price checked at the counter. And I'm like, "Bro," I was like, I
just did your work for you.
I was like, "These were in your dollar bin." I was like, "Are these not dollar bin?" None of these were not bagged and boarded. I've not told this story, I don't think.
So you did the dirty work, man.
And I found, I had a mixture of dollar bin books and a mixture of like not dollar bin books. $25 books at most. There was one book that was much higher, but these were all in their dollar bin area. The non-dollar bin was the J. Scott Campbell Black Cat wearing the Spidey suit. But the other ones that I had, it was like Haunts #1, which is a McFarlane, Capullo, Kirkman, like a crazy, and that's like a $25 book. Had some other actual like dollar bin books for this Jonathan Hickman run that I'm like slowly collecting because I'm like interested in it. You might like it. I'll share the kind of summary of it after, but because you can find it in dollar bins, so I'm like slowly putting together, and it's not long. It's like 40 something issues. So I had some of those and just like other random stuff. Like Robert Kirkman has an other superhero-ish adjacent comic that he did for Image called Firepower. So I was buying some run feel from that and just like, mix of stuff. And I'm getting price checked for like these 15, 20 bucks. And I was like, what?
Yeah. And you just walked out, didn't you?
Yeah. And I was like, what are you? And he's like, oh, got a price check. I was like, what are you? These are all in the dollar bins.
Yeah. And he's not
bagged and boarded.
And he's not the owner of the shop. He's not the guy you typically deal with. There's some other guy. With a little too much energy.
This black cat, it's like, what is it? Like ASM 601 or something like that? No bag and board. Raw. Completely raw.
It's floating in a long box.
Just and like in the midst of dollar books. So I was like, what do you? I was like, these are dollar bin. I was like, these were in the dollar bin area.
Yeah.
Like, and he was like, he's just saying stuff, and I was like, so these aren't $1? And he's like, no. And I was like, okay, then I don't want them.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, wait. He's like, no. I was like, if they're not $1, I don't want them.
Right.
Like they're in the dollar bin area. Like that's what I'm expecting to be. He's like, well, we can cut you a deal. He's like, I'll have the owner. I was like, no. I was like,
that's not the point.
I was like,
you did all the dirty work and found these books amid junk that wasn't obviously even cared for or valued by the owner if it's sitting unbagged and boarded where anybody can be just rifling through it.
That's how I was.
Oh yeah.
I was not happy.
So if I was this guy with the Hulk 181, I certainly would have not let go of the book.
Yeah.
But I would have, put a few other books in my hand. I would have just walked up and said, how much are the books back there? Or something like that. Or showed him a few of the ratty books and say, how much are the books? And then get the price. And I would have still gone back. And I don't care. I could have just closed my eyes and pick like 13 other books and just put them and then put the Hulk 181 in the middle of it and just say, here you go. And just hope that he'll just count them and say $13.
What I told him was, what I would have done is I would have said, how much for everything? But
that's even better.
That's just like my,
That's even better.
Yeah. But he said that he was like, there's nothing else over there. And I was like, really? I was like, I find that hard to believe. You found a Hulk 181 for $1. And he's like, dude, I checked. He's like, I've gone back.
Oh, I'd be going back every weekend. Yeah. I mean, I love hearing those stories because it gives it's. I can't say it gives me hope because they always have hope. That's why we all go diving through the dollar bins. But it's an affirmation of the hope I have.
Yeah,
it encourages my hope.
Yeah,
that to do that and it is, and we've talked about this before. Is it ethical? Is it not ethical? It's 100% ethical if it's a retail outlet.
Yeah,
that's on them. If it's grandma at a garage sale, that's another conversation for another day. But if I'm at a retail outlet, actually, if I'm at a garage sale too, I don't think I'd be going up saying, hey, this book's actually worth more. I'd be like, no, man. I mean,
how much?
You you tell me, and I pay you, and I leave, and I lay some rubber on the ground as I go. But Hulk 181 for $1. Okay, now that's a book that I really just one time want to own it.
Yeah,
and I shouldn't be afraid to pull the trigger and get one, because if there's ever a book that you could always get your money back out of it, it's that book.
Well, similar to ASM 129, that's another one of those, and it's a Bronze Age too. It's another one of those books that's like, it's tough to. The market for that book raw is tough because it's just so much of like, can you trust the grading?
Yeah.
This book is just so expensive that it's like if you don't have it certified and tied to the market where you can trace sales, a lot of that times that book raw you find going for the cost of a slab or even more.
Yeah.
It's the same situation. So if somebody came to me, and I don't have a Hulk 181 at the moment, but if somebody came to me asking for a raw 181, I would tell them the same thing that I said with the 129. It's going to be tough. Your best bet is probably buying a slab and cracking it.
Yeah. I really just would love to own that book. I did own a Hulk 180 once, and I like that book, but you just, I understand why the 181 is the gold standard for Wolverine, because it's all about the cover.
Yeah.
It's that red. It just pops. It's so beautiful.
Yeah. So he asked me, he was like, should I get it graded? And same thing. I was like, dude, do what you want. It's your book.
I mean, you can't miss whatever you do when you paid $1 for it.
That's what I told him. I was
Who cares
like,
how much it costs to grade it?
Yeah, that's actually, I did tell him that because he was like, yeah, I'm thinking about, because I told him, I was like, do whatever you want. I was like, it doesn't matter. And then he was like, yeah, he's like, I'm going to a convention in a couple weeks. He's like, I think CGC is going to be there. And he's like, I don't know. And that's when I told him, I was like, well, the price to grade doesn't matter to you. Like,
you're so ahead.
I mean, obviously you got to pay for it. So you gotta have the money, but assuming that you have the money to get that book graded, it doesn't matter because it's not like you're like, okay, I bought this book for $2,600. So I really got to hope that it comes back this grade so that I'm at least even. We've all done that. We've all submitted big keys where it's like, okay, I'm hoping it comes back this because at this point, after my grading costs, I'm even. I want it to come back this because I have money. And then you're like, an outside shot that it comes back this.
Yeah.
So there's always like 3 tiers. You're like, okay, what I need for it to be even, where I'm in the profit, and then
what's the dream
where
grade?
the Lord blesses me, and I'm just sitting on money.
Man, I've gotten some lucky finds from antique shops before. Nothing major, like
Yeah.
a $30 book for $3, just things like that.
Yeah.
But the what he described is exactly where you would find something like that. Like it would be a very rare occurrence where you could find something like that in a shop that's actually dedicated to selling comic books because they know that books. Everybody knows that book.
Yeah.
But you go to a place where the comic books are an afterthought. It's an antique shop somewhere off I-40 in New Mexico, or I'm not knocking New Mexico, just anywhere, like in California, whatever. Just where comic books isn't the thing. It's just like you described it. A couple boxes under a table in the back somewhere. They don't really look at. They don't know. That's where you could actually find something.
Yeah.
It's possible. It's possible. They have to have it there, and no one else. You have to beat everybody else there. There's so many things that have to go right.
Yeah.
But imagine all those things breaking right, and then you get price checked. You can't do that.
It's been brutal.
That's just not right.
Yeah.
But congrats to that guy, man.
Yeah.
And I love stories like that. They exist. They happen.
Yeah. A very quick story because this is from a much longer ago. But I bought some Invincibles from a guy several months ago, and he had an Invincible 1. He had it graded at 8.0. He was actually getting it cracked and pressed and cleaned the day that I had bought these books from him, and he was going to resubmit it and hope for a higher grade. And what he ended up telling me was, he was like, yeah, I bought this book for 50 cents. I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, he's like in like 2010 or something like that, 2011. Oh my God. He was like, I got this book for 50 cents at the swap meet here in town. I was like,
gosh,
wow. Can you imagine that?
Okay. I still think that's possible for pulps. I think, because everybody knows by now, almost everybody knows that comic books can have value. Mm-hmm. You know this because people call you and say, yeah, I found all these comics in a storage bin and I know they got to have value. And then it turns out they're all from the 90s and they don't, but they think because they just have heard comic books have money. Pulps, not so much. Pulps are more like, some people will see a pulp and just see it like an old magazine, which doesn't have any value.
Yeah.
Or an old book, which unless it's first print of, I don't know, Grapes of Wrath or something, it doesn't have any value either.
Yeah.
And even if it is the first print of Grapes of Wrath, and if it doesn't have the what do you call it? The cover, there's a name for it, but the dust cover, also has no value, you know, really. And you could do that. Like you could find.
Yeah.
And we know that there are some pulps that are worth thousands.
Yeah.
And they don't even have to be in good grade because they're never in good grade.
Yeah.
And you could find that. And you would find it at a swap meet. It would be something like that. Just like next to the big bin of tools is like that. I think could happen.
Yeah, literally.
At an antique shop, at a swap meet, never at a comic shop, probably not at a used bookstore either.
Yeah.
But these other places, look for the pulps there because those I just I have found a couple pulps at swap meet. Bought one, didn't buy the other. I'm glad about the one I bought. It's worth some money. I don't even remember what the other one was, but I don't know why I didn't buy it because they were $5 each, dude.
Yeah.
And why didn't I just buy both?
Yeah.
But I didn't. Even I didn't think about them as being in comic book range.
Yeah.
I just thought if it was a cool science fiction pulp from the 30s, that's cool. I like it.
Yeah.
It's got a story in there by an author I recognize. That's kind of fun. I didn't think I'd be seeing it out of comic book claims sales.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I love it. Yeah. If you anyone who's watching or listening to this has a story like that, I'd love to hear it because they're so much fun. They're so encouraging. You know, the guy who finds Action One in the behind the wall in a old house he buys, you know, because they used it for insulation. Those kinds of stories are crazy, but they're happening.
Yeah.
They still happen.
Yeah. What's crazy is, I mean, that story, he said he bought it 15 years ago. And what's funny is he probably only got that book 50% off of what it was worth at the time. He paid 50 cents. It was probably was a $1 book back then. Realistically, it was probably like a $5 book.
Yeah.
But it was not worth anything back then.
So there you go. We don't get to say, oh man, you know, if I was around in 1961, I definitely would have been buying all those Fantastic Fours and ASMs because I would have known. Or we also can't say, well, that time has passed. There isn't going to be anything like that again because Invincible's Exhibit A for that.
Yeah.
Like, where were you 10 years ago? Where were you 15 years ago? This was the FF1 of 15 years ago. And I say that with in all earnestness because when I started collecting in 1981, FF1 in mint was a $2,000 book, all right? Around the cost of an average near mint copy of Invincible 1. You know? Yeah. I know that inflation, adjust for inflation, FF1, you know, but still, there's books that are out there today, and I don't know what they are. That's the fun of it. That one or two of them is going to be worth four figures.
Yeah.
In 15 years and 10 years.
Yeah, shoot, man. I mean, even when season 1 came out, because I've had 4 copies of Invincible 1. The very first copy I had was that 9.2, and I sold it for $900, and that was when season 1 was out. Or maybe even that was when season 2 was out, even I think.
Yeah, and you bought it.
Yeah, bought it raw.
And it was just sitting up there on a wall with a price on it.
For $150, I think I bought it for.
And that was just a few years ago. So we can't really sit here and say, well, you know, all the opportunities, you know, that was my dad's generation had those. I don't. Yes, you do. You absolutely do. We do.
Yeah, if you go look at the GPAs and the Go Collects of Invincible 1, yeah, it's 5 years ago, post-COVID time. You could have got a 9.8 at a reasonable price comparative to what it is today. So I wonder what's on the market today that somebody is buying a 9.8 of for like $80, $100. That 5 years from now is going to be $1,000 book.
Yeah, I don't know. You don't know. None of us knows. But what we do know is there are a handful. Yeah. We just don't know what they are.
Yeah,
and that's the fun.
Yep, that is fun. All right, well let's end it there. That's a fun note to end it on.
Right on.
And
happy hunting, everybody.
Yeah, happy hunting, and glad to be back. Thank you guys.
Yeah.
We will have an episode next week.
Yes, we will.
Yeah, we will be back next week.
Don't forget Spro's claim sale tonight.
Yeah,
if you're watching on Monday.
Yeah, if you're watching on Monday, we live. You're not going to be available, huh?
No, unfortunately, I know.
I'm going to go live at 4:30 p.m. then.
Okay.
So claim sale 4:30 p.m. tonight at Spros_comics. Live on IG. We're going to have some fun stuff. We're going to have a lot of books from that collection. So if you want a piece of the collection that lady had left behind, come on by.
Pre-code horror.
Cool.
Maybe I'll do a little more cherry picking. Well, I shouldn't say more. I haven't done any cherry picking, but I might do some.
Yeah.
Since I can't be there.
So yeah, thanks guys so much for watching.
Thank you.
We appreciate you, and we'll see you next week.
Take it easy, guys.
Peace.